Welcome to my review of this new Randy Newman album titled Dark Matter. It actually came out back in August, but thank you to David on Twitter, or his @ is @Akalugo. He has incredible hot takes on music, he has great opinions and knows his shit, and he put this album on my mind, and even though it's come out a few months ago, I do feel like it is worth talking about because it is so damn good. You've probably heard Randy Newman's name at this point. He's a very famous singer-songwriter, been making music for a very long time, did the Toy Story soundtrack and all that stuff, but honestly I've never really given his discography a massive listen. I've never really delved deep into it, so this album, in 2017, from a 73-year-old man, wasn't something that was on my radar, and I don't think it was on anyone's radar because this album didn't do all that well commercially, critically. It didn't really get that many reviews, but you know what, I don't know why, because this is honestly such a great album. The album kicks off with the track The Great Debate, which honestly is one of the best written songs I think I've heard all year. Seriously, when you listen to this song, read along with the lyrics. I urge you to do this. You have to do that because basically it's this little show where these people are debating between the theory of evolution, and then on the other side you've got the religious believers. Basically questions are thrown around, and one of the first questions is about dark matter, and then the people on the evolution side are basically saying, oh, there's dark matter, we don't really know where it is, we don't know where to find it, what it is, we don't know anything about it, but we just know it's there. And then the religious people chime in and they're like, I'd take Jesus every time, and it's really funny. So then it ends up being like the religious people win the debate like 3-0 or something, and it's really actually quite clever though when you think about it, because Randy Newman is an atheist. He's admitted being an atheist, but just looking at this perspective, he's very open-minded and he's willing to allow that religion isn't all wrong, and I really like that side to him. Typically, atheists aren't like that, but Randy Newman is a very different kind of guy. Then we've got the track Putin, which is an hilarious song about Vladimir Putin, of course. We get him coming in the song with his perspective of how he's great, and then there are these women in the song that are like, we love you, Putin, ah! And they believe that he'll do great things for Russia. And the character that Randy Newman's created of Putin refers to himself as a goddamn Putin man. It's just so silly, but it's really clever how he does this. And I've got to mention Sonny Boy, because this is one of the best storytelling tracks on the album, and perhaps, one of the best I've heard all year, since the opening track on Jason Eady's album. But this one tells a story, apparently this is true, about Sonny Boy Williamson, a blues singer from a long time ago, 50s, 60s, and this guy was a blues singer, but then he found out that there was someone that had actually ripped off his style, ripped off his name, and was going by his name, and was doing the exact same songs as him on a live show. Well, not just a live show, but plenty of live shows. And Sonny Boy, the original, found out this by going into a club one time, or a bar, and saw him playing there and was like, hey, this is, he's ripping me off. But then Sod's Law, the guy, the original Sonny Boy, walks out and then gets into this disagreement or something, and then gets killed. Of all things, he actually dies, and then the imposter of Sonny Boy lives on with a legacy. So it's a really great story told by Randy Newman here. I really appreciate his lyricism, his really intelligent way of writing songs. We have perhaps the cutest song ever on She Chose Me, where he's identifying his flaws. He's not much of a guy to talk to, he doesn't really look all that well, but yet the most beautiful woman ever chose him, and he just feels so happy and honoured, and he can't really believe it. Oh, it really is such a nice song. I was so happy when I heard this song. It's a jungle out there, references how crazy things are, and even though it could make it look like he's paranoid and he's a bit scared, he doesn't believe that because it is actually a jungle out there. And the track On the Beach probably doesn't really live up lyrically. Musically, it's quite catchy, I guess. It's a nice little peppy track, but lyrically, it really does pale in comparison to the rest of the tracks on this album. Wandering Boy closes off the album, a song about wondering where this person he's looking for is, and he hopes that he's safe, he's not getting himself into trouble and all that kind of stuff. It's a nice closing track to the album. So yeah, with the intelligent songwriting, Randy Newman really has proven that this may be late in his career, but he can still put out incredible music, and it's actually very catchy at points. Some of the jazz instrumentation just like is very quirky. It's quite dancey at points as well. And the fact that the storytelling, like especially on the opening track, like fits in with the instrumental, like the instrumental like rises up just at the right times. It's really clever, and across this album I'm just really impressed with his instrumentation and his piano playing. And let me remind you, it's a singer-songwriter album. I keep saying that these singer-songwriters have got it locked in this year. I may be late to this album, but this has got to be one of the best I've heard all year. I'm going to give this a B+. I know in 2017 there isn't exactly a market or even an audience for Randy Newman, but that doesn't mean to say you shouldn't check this out. I mean, sure, it's not the most trendy thing you'll hear all year, but perhaps that's a good thing. You're going to hear something very different here. The lyricism is far superior to most albums that I've heard in the past few months, so I would absolutely recommend it. If you have heard this album though, do let me know what you think, and yeah, what I should review next as well, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, and have a good day.